Ladies and gentlemen, hello, 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 and welcome back to the Lights Camera Discussion podcast. Today is the first part of our amazing Oscar special, which we do every year and have done since I had a look. 2022 was our first one that we did. So this is our fourth installment of.
Are you sure? We always debate this at the start of every one.
Yes,
It's like, what was our first one?
I went back and double checked. 2022 was our first one
So-
that we did. So this is going to be our latest one, the 2026 Oscars. It's always a good time. It's always fun. But
What's
we're
our
gonna,
fifth one then? Jeez.
yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, we're gonna do it over like 3 parts. So you'll get them Monday, Wednesday, Friday, with the Oscars then on Saturday night into Sunday. So yeah, Sunday. It's on Monday, is it? Sunday to Monday, sorry. Yeah. So yeah, we are very excited to do this. I would normally do like a witty kind of intro and stuff here, but I kind of just wanted to say that I'm joined by my co-hosts who, like, if there was an Academy Award for best podcast hosts and co-hosts, these guys would get it. So Collie and Todd, hi, how are we doing?
What are you wanting? What's all this niceness? To be fair, is there not one for? There's one for the Golden Globes. Is it Golden Globes now?
Yeah,
We've got
yeah.
a podcast one or whatever. So yeah, you never know.
Amy Poehler won it, didn't she? So
Yes.
yeah, it'll be us next year at the Golden Globes, so I'm sure you guys will see us there. But let us kind of get into it because there's a lot to cover. So today we're going to be covering, first of all, and this is a joint category because it kind of covers two things because they're very similar. But we've got the best cinematography / visual effects. So within the category, or within the two categories, basically, we've got Avatar: Fire and Ash, F1, Jurassic World Rebirth, The Lost Bus, Sinners, Frankenstein, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, and Train Dreams. And as always, we'll kind of go through the categories and discuss what they are about, basically. But if it's going to be the last time we'll talk about that movie, then we'll kind of give it more general on the actual film as well. So first of all, with the VFX, the first one listed says Avatar: Fire and Ash. Now, this is going to be the last time we talk about this film, so I know there's one person that prefers the film over the rather than two of us. So, Collie, do you want to give us a quick chat about Avatar: Fire and Ash?
It's interesting. I actually meant to go back and watch our pod or listen to our podcast about Way of Water? Way of Water is the second one.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I went on a rant about that at the time, being like, why is James Cameron wasting all his time doing these movies? Blah, 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 blah. Like, I want him to do more original ideas like he used to, like Terminator and Aliens and stuff like that. But I've not come full circle on the Avatar films, but I enjoy them now a lot more than I used to, especially number 2 and then 3, which is what we're discussing today. When it comes to the VFX purely, which is what it's nominated for, I think there's no better film than to kind of showcase VFX at its best, in terms of the fact that it's a full virtual environment for the most part. The fact that it integrates with humans sometimes as well is impressive. But yeah, there's some shots in this, especially the water based ones and the flight based ones. Again, just showcase VFX at its very, very best. Obviously, it costs a lot of money to make, but then it rakes in a lot of money. And even this is this is the least successful of the 3. It's still like 1.6 billion or something like that it's taken in. Something ridiculous like that. So, as this is the only time that we're going to be discussing it, because Way of the Water was previously nominated for, I think it was nominated for Best Picture.
Best Picture, yeah.
I want to say, so we did get a bit more time to dissect it, but this to me, and it's weird to say because it's a 3-hour film, felt like it was a continuation of the second one. I didn't feel that there was that much of a step in time in terms of like the actual movie, but obviously there wasn't a much of a step in time in terms of it was only a couple of years later, whereas Avatar 1 to Way of Water number 2 was like 12 years or something like that, or it was at least it was more than 10 anyway. So there wasn't that time between films, so that's why I feel like it maybe feels a bit more connected, and it seems to be more of a done thing when it comes to like, I know it's not a book because it's all based on like original ideas, quotation marks, but Dune 1 and 2, like I think Dune 2 like lends itself, so 1 seems better, and for me, like I enjoyed Fire and Ash and then Way of Water retrospectively a bit more because it kind of tells an elongated version of the same story. So yeah, overall, really, really good film overall. I enjoyed it anyway. And from a VFX angle, like I said at the start, I think it's just a showcase of where technology is at this moment in time.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, obviously, I kind of preface it with yourself enjoying it more than maybe the other two of us because I enjoyed it at a point. I did think it was a bit bloated. It's a really long film. In terms of the VFX, though, like it's like the hallmark of what VFX should be. It's an unbelievably looking film. You can obviously tell the amount of technical stuff that goes into VFX is extraordinary, and it's the sort of like the wagyu beef of VFX. It's it's the top tier. But just as a film in general, it's probably just me, but I just don't care about the characters and I don't care about what's happening to them. It just I just get bored by the runtime of it. I've never been really interested in the films, and I've kind of only just watched them because we have to talk about them for the Oscars and stuff. So it's not really something that's kind of interested me. But also saying that, I think the world in itself is really interesting. It's just that kind of story that comes along with it. I've been to Pandora in like Disney World and stuff, and it's really cool and it's amazing. And again, it feels proper lived in. But then when it comes to actual film, the actual story, it just doesn't really do much for me. The characters basically just annoy me, to be honest. But as I say, in terms of VFX, unbelievable. Like it's so good. Todd?
Yeah, I sort of equate this to watching rugby. Like if you put a match, if you put rugby on, I don't care. I don't give a fuck. I don't. I just couldn't care less. It's the same with this. Like
Because
I
England
watch
are
it.
shite and Scotland are the best.
It's like,
Yeah.
I'll go with it. Fucking rugby in there. I just don't care. I just like you say, the characters, and one of the big draws for me going to the VFX stuff is that like this is why I liked the first film. Like when I went to see that, I think I said this last time. When I went to see that at the cinema, I was absolutely blown away. I was like, "This is the best thing I've ever seen." And then I watched it on DVD whenever it came out after, and was like, "Oh, wait a second, no, it's not." It was just beautiful to look at, and I think, like I say, especially the water stuff. And I know water seems to, we talked about last year with the apes film, the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and like that scene with the water and stuff. This again hits those heights with the water, but yeah, I thought the VFX stuff is stunning. I don't think you can deny that. But when we talk about the film overall, it just isn't for me, and it's something that when it keeps getting nominated, I'll keep watching them. But it's just not something that will. I don't know. It's something that can't grip me.
Mhm. And you're too scared
And
to
you,
rate it as
and you
well.
won't even rate it. And you won't even
No.
rate it.
Nope.
It's like I'm sure I've sent plenty of them to you, Todd, about like gym related stuff and that. But it's the little Tom and Jerry, the pussy. As soon as I seen that you hadn't rated it, I was just like, away and fucking rate it.
I'll take it. I'll take that. I'll take that. Yeah.
Coward.
Green goblin mask sat in the corner
Yeah.
telling me to rate it.
Just rate it. Even if it's half a star.
Okay, the next one in VFX is F1. So again, a film we're going to be talking about later on. So we can kind of focus on the visual effects of this one. Todd, why don't you start us off?
So F1 isn't something that I'm overly familiar with, the sport, and I just thought the way that they shot. I know a lot of it was shot on the track, but in terms of the VFX, some of the car scenes were phenomenal. You know, and I think it's a testament to the film how well it blends. That you kind of, I wasn't taken out of this film at any time where I thought, oh, is that CGI or is that sort of, nothing felt ropey. And obviously a lot of money has gone into it. But you know, like I say, some of the race shots were just phenomenal, to the point that if you'd have asked me on that initial watch what was VFX, I'd have taken a stab, but I don't think I'd have been able to tell you. It was really impressive.
I totally agree. It kind of reminded me more of in how that, you know, Avatar is obviously mainly VFX and then like the big set piece and stuff. It was kind of more of like how like David Fincher uses VFX, and it was kind of more like blending in with reality, which I thought really helped the film and helped it be the kind of what it needed to be, like the kinetic sort of type of film that it is. But yeah, absolutely, it's one of those I don't think is massive flashy VFX, but for what it does, it's great. Even I don't know actually if this was VFX, but the scene with Javier Bardem going down the pit lane and the like fireworks stuff in the background, like
I'm pretty sure that was VFX.
yeah. You never know. You never know. But just things like that as well, I thought added to it immensely. But yeah, I really I thought it was well done. Collie?
I love this film. Like, I've been an F1 fan, like, on and off for, I don't know, like 15 plus years or something like that. Like, I'll dabble every so often, but then it gets quite boring for a little while with who's winning and stuff, and I'll go back and forth. Lucky enough, got to go see this at IMAX, and yeah, I was excited for it because love Top Gun Maverick, and it's the same team behind it, both director wise, but also VFX wise. Excuse me. But I thought the onboard stuff, exactly like you mentioned, was really, really good. And it just reminds you of the cockpit stuff that was in Maverick. So probably a lot of the same techniques, but it's enough to differentiate between the two. I think it showed you like the speed of the cars and the noise of the cars. Because I think, is it nominated for best sound? I think it might be, and it's likely to win that potentially. Or there was talk of that anyway, way back when.
Best sound, yeah.
Yeah, and just even, I thought one of the shots that stood out to me was when the young guy, JP, crashes. Like, there's the onboard discussion, blah, 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 and then it cuts and it shows you the curb that he's going to, like, go over and crash, and it shows you, like, you're looking from the curb onto the racetrack, and you see him coming. I just thought that was a really cool shot, and that's the kind of stuff that you can only really do with VFX, is like in car stuff, or like when it sweeps around the car stuff, all that kind of work I thought was really, really good. And I know this isn't the last time we'll talk about the film because it was nominated for Best Picture, so I'll leave it there purely on the VFX. But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed this, and on IMAX I was blown away. I'm actually, Cineworld are doing, you know, the Best Picture.
Oh yeah.
Back in the cinema, I'm seeing Begonia and this are the two that I've booked in for. Because I wanted to see this at the cinema again.
So is that an IMAX again, or is it like
it's just normal? No. But still.
Aye. But still, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Next one is Jurassic World Rebirth. Collie, VFX. Well, I mean, we're talking about it as well as a general film, I suppose, as well.
So as a general film, I think it's okay. It's the best Jurassic World film. But that's not saying much because they're all shite. But I'm glad that we're rid of Chris Pratt in them. I thought the cast in this were really good. I mean, a lot of cliches and stuff like that, but like Johansson's really good. As this kind of mysterious mercenary kind of character. VFX in Jurassic Park / World films is always going to be really, really good. But I actually thought for this, there was some of it I didn't really enjoy. I thought the opening scene, which is more of I don't know if it's more of a cinematography type thing, but the way that the kind of cell or whatever, the lab, goes all red and smoky, and you just see the kind of the monster, I'm not even calling it a dinosaur, the monster thing, like you could just see it a little bit. I thought that was really cool, because they were like hiding. It was like that Jaws thing of, you know, don't show the monster too early or show it at all, and same as Alien and stuff. And then later on, I just kind of went back into the Jurassic World like silliness. I don't know, it didn't look cheap, but it did, if that makes sense. I just didn't really, there wasn't that awe, and I guess that's like 30 odd years, 35 years or however long since the original. You don't have that awe anymore, but that's because I think not a lot of it's practical and stuff like that. And there's one shot that I thought was really egregious, was when the lassie's on the beach and she gets eaten. No, sorry, tell a lie. Yeah, the one she's on the beach, she's like fixing the boat or whatever she's doing, and you see in the background dinosaur or whatever the fuck it is go into the water, and then it grabs her, and you just don't see it all, and it grabs her. And then there's a shot later on when they're trying to hide from, is it the T-Rex that they're hiding from when they're on the little rafty thing? Yeah. And like there's something in the foreground, and it just appears from behind there or whatever. There's like physically no way it could have possibly been from one place to the other. So that's where I think VFX kind of can fall apart a little bit, is that it's used as a cheat to achieve these cool like jump scares or shots or whatever, but they kind of fall apart when it comes to the reality of it. So yeah, only time talking about this film, I thought it was okay. I thought the performances were the best thing in it, which is ironically enough not ironically enough, but it's not really what you want. What you want when you want to see a Jurassic film, you want it to be awe-inspiring in terms of like, you know, the VFX and the monsters and the dinosaurs and stuff like that. But it just didn't grab me as much as I'd hoped it was, because it's Gareth Edwards, we're all big fans of, who one day we will cover on the podcast. So I was kind of disappointed a little bit from him, but I with this kind of film, I don't know how much studio involvement is there. You know, I just don't think it was like as personal as I'd hoped it would be.
Yeah, I agree. It's one of those films that, again, for me, I just feel like it gets further and further away from the original heart of the Jurassic Park films. Specifically with like when the crossbreed and the mutations and stuff, that's where it loses me.
Sorry, just on that, but isn't this like the third or fourth time they've done this in the films?
Yeah,
especially the world ones. I'm sure that was the whole. Was it not in the second one of the world film? They were trying to buy it at auction or something,
and they were
like
cloning it and stuff,
and
as well.
And it was like
wasn't
opening doors and stuff like that. Anyway, yeah. So I felt it was a bit of a rehash when it come to that as well.
Mm-hmm. No, totally. But yeah, I mean, certainly in VFX, again, I'm with you. There's some things that just doesn't make sense, and you're right. It's probably because it's not real that it's hard to bring that realism to life. So like when you're thinking of where a person can, or where a dinosaur can go, or you know, where it should be and stuff, it's gonna be harder to sort of do that. But yeah. And again, there's a lot of water stuff as well in this one, funnily enough. And some of it was good. I did quite like the T-Rex kind of chase, where it was like diving into the water after them and stuff as well. But some of it just didn't seem as, and it might just be that it's unfortunate that this year it's been nominated, but it just didn't seem as like awe-inspiring as like your Avatar and the way that they did the water and stuff as well. But yeah, I mean, even the performances, I wasn't really keen on Scarlett Johansson and Mahershala Ali. I get it was something a bit different, but it wasn't for me. I thought Jonathan Bailey was the funnest out of them. At least he seemed like he was having a good time. But again, it was all the setup was weird. The fact that they were trying to get blood from a clone, and it just kind of lost it for me. So but you're right, the Jurassic World films unfortunately have been a bit of a downer on what is, you know, even otherwise, even like kind of Jurassic Park 2 and 3 have sort of like moments and have decent parts. But yeah, I mean, the highs of Jurassic Park 1 to where we are now.
I love The Lost World, by the way.
Yeah.
Just 3's poo. Sorry.
There's a couple of moments in 3, like the pterodactyl enclosure and stuff. I really do enjoy that.
Yeah. Pretty poo though.
It is pretty poo. I know. But William H. Macy having time of his life and stuff. But yeah, anyway, this film.
I love William H. Macy.
Yeah. This film though, for me, it wasn't great, and yeah, the VFX still, I think, maybe not as good as some other ones in this category. Todd?
Yeah, I'm with you. In terms of film, I thought it was fine. But in terms of the VFX, we'll go with it. Don't want to see my face anyway. The VFX, the moment where it came onto the beach, where the boat hit the beach, that was awful. Like, I think a lot of the sort of, when we talk about F1, sort of integrating real life and not knowing where the VFX is, it was clear here where the reality mixed with the VFX, and I thought, like you say, we've come so far away from the original that, you know, in the 90s looked flawless. And I know we shouldn't really compare, but how do you go back over? How do you do that? Well, I know why, because they've gone too big. They've gone too silly. Yeah. A lot of the VFX stuff took me out of it. Like you say, that bit where she's behind the thing. Again, I don't know what they were doing. I don't know what the film was essentially about. And I don't mind if it's just, it would have been better if it was just, there's a family in that area on that boat being idiots and they need rescuing. right, let's go and rescue them. That would have been better for me. That family pissed me off, by the way.
Yeah.
Fucking awful. Kill them. Let them die. But yeah, it was fine. I love Jonathan Bailey. I think he's fantastic. The performances were all right, but I think I just got bored. I just got really bored really quickly. And like you say, that's not something you want in a Jurassic film. You want like that grandeur. I've watched the first Jurassic World and then just haven't kept up with them. Like I've just
Don't
sort
bother.
of lost interest. So
Don't
yeah.
bother.
No, unless they get nominated for something down the line, we'll be all right.
Is there 3 other Jurassic Worlds? Is that right? Jurassic World, Fallen
Yes.
Kingdom, something else, and then this one? No.
Dominion? Is there a
Yeah,
Dominion?
yeah. So there was 3. Then this is the 4th one technically,
Fourth
but
one.
part of a
That's-
reboot or some shite.
That's mental. That is
So
actually
this is the 7th Jurassic film,
crazy.
I think.
Shell and money, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
just how much can we squeeze out of it?
Mental.
But yes,
Mental.
fine. It was fine.
Even in the 6th one, they brought back Goldblum and Laura Dern and that.
Oh, of course, yeah. Mental. Moving swiftly on to The Lost Bus. So again, a film we're gonna just talk about once in this one. So, but in the category of best visual effects, Collie, do you want to start us off on that?
Yeah, first and foremost, like my reaction to this nomination was like, what the fuck is The Lost Bus? And why is it lost? Yeah, so I had no idea about this film. It's just surprising. Like, it's got, like Oscar winner Matthew McConaughey, and it's got Oscar nominee, her from Barbie. I can't remember her name. No disrespect, but anyway, yeah, that's her. Yeah, her from Superstore.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was just like, oh, well, okay, really, and I actually really enjoyed this as much as you can when it comes to, like small kids potentially burning to death. But I thought, in terms of purely VFX, I thought it was impressive. Like even from the first shot where it shows you the sparking of the electric tower. And the kind of subsequent falling on the ground and the fire start, I thought that was really, really good. And then when it comes to when they're in the bus, but then they're like dashing out to fight the fires and stuff like that, I thought some of the shots were excellent, to be honest. And back to the F1 comparison, the kind of blending of what could be practical fire effects and what could be VFX, I thought was really, really well done. Story-wise, it was pretty cliche, pretty forgetful. I thought the performances of the main two were good though, and some of their discussions on the bus were decent. But yeah, just one of those films that Apple TV just obviously chucked a bit of money at and churned out, and it's never to be mentioned again. But yeah, I thought the film was decent, and the VFX. We could come to whether it should like the snubs and what could be swapped out for different films and stuff like that. But I thought if your goal is to blend real life and visual effects and not really be able to tell the difference, I thought this kind of nailed it, to be honest. And whether the category should be more about like flashy VFX or if it should be rewarded for, like you say, Massey, the Fincher-esque blending of that is up for debate. But yeah, an okay film and some good VFX.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree. The fact it's a true story is pretty crazy. Like, but yeah, in terms of the VFX and stuff, we were talking about obviously Avatar doing the water and stuff, taking it a different way in this one, doing the fire. I thought it was pretty well done. For what it was. You're right. It's one of these stories that is okay. It's fine. It's also been dramatized and stuff, and yeah, it was fine. It's not one I'll ever watch again, but I thought like it was all right. I've said I kind of look at my reviews on Letterboxd while I sort of do this just to refresh memory, and I'll even put that McConaughey and Ferreira being like the established actors that they are does really help it in the performance side of things. But there's like some performances like the fire crew and stuff that you can tell they're not up to it, sort of thing, which is fair enough. And it's funny you say about how you're not sure about seeing or sorry, this film kind of just went out with like sort of no aplomb and stuff. The only reason I'd heard of it, and this is a shout out to another podcast, is on Backside. They said that they watched it and they enjoyed it. That's the only thing I've heard of this film in the whole kind of build up to the Oscar side of things. But yeah, it was fine. It was okay. And that's about as far as I can go with it, to be perfectly honest. Todd?
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. I think it was a fine film. I think, like you say, cliched, but then how how far do you stray from the actual story? Do you know what I mean? Like it's a hero story type thing. Like I thought the lead performances were brilliant. That was the most engaging part of the film in general. I thought in particular there was one scene where they were it was like running in circles around the bus, and the camera was sort of like following them as they were through the flames. And I thought that was particularly impressive. And obviously, that's going to be a little bit of pyro mixed in with the VFX. But again, when we talk about it, it felt seamless. There was no point where I thought like, you know, but it's Apple TV. They're gonna put a bit of cash behind it. You know, and this is their. Is this F1 wasn't Apple TV, was it? Was that Apple? I
What's
feel
it?
like
Sorry.
was F1 Apple TV? I don't feel like it was.
Yeah,
It was.
I
Okay.
think it was partially funded by them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's on Apple TV. It's on Apple TV, so
Yeah. So like it's not their only like venture into it. Do you know what I mean? It's not their only nomination, which I think does sometimes impact where you go, this is our one big chance to kind of, get an Oscar nomination. But I thought the VFX were excellent and really well blended. I think it suffered because it's not as impressive as some of the others in the category.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Okay, the final one in the VFX side of things is a film we're going to be talking about a lot in this Oscar special. It's Sinners, the VFX for Sinners. I've not been quiet about talking about how this is one of my favorite films of all time. Is my letterbox top four. Yep. Yeah, I mean, certainly from a VFX side of things, for me, it's kind of it's flawless in what it does. It's just there. I think there's stronger things to it, but in terms of VFX side of things, like again, it feels more like the kind of subtle use of VFX and stuff that they do. We'll get to where I think this award should go. I don't necessarily think it should go to Sinners, to be perfectly honest. But for what it does, VFX side, the subtlety of the blending of that, it's fine. But yeah, I don't want to go too much into it because I don't want to talk about Sinners loads. But Colin, what are your thoughts on the VFX side of things of Sinners?
Yeah, I'll just echo what you said. I thought they were excellent. I mean, one of the big showcase sequences, which is the big musical number in the middle, I think like they would have used a lot of VFX on that. And it is seamless. You're fully invested in the scene. You're not taken out of it by anything. And I also thought the VFX in the final battle with, is it Remick? Remick's the baddie, is it? Like with him on the lake and the like how he transformed fully or almost fully into his vampire form, and the big like fire tornado, for lack of a better term. Stuff like that when he's died. I thought that was all really, really impressive. Like I wouldn't have. There was no point, unlike Jurassic World, where you were like, oh, that looks a bit ropey or that looks a bit dodgy. So I think they set out for it to be completely blended in, and they achieved that really well.
Mm-hmm. Todd?
Yeah, the passing of the cigarette thing at the beginning between the twins and how they've sort of done that is phenomenal. And I think it's one of those things where when you watch it, you're like, okay, that's a cool use of VFX. Congratulations that you've done that. But then when when you listen to Coogler talking about it and that sort of, he wants to show that connection. I thought that was a really good idea. That whole final battle was phenomenal. Was really well done. And like you say, that sort of again, the blend. I hate repeating myself, but just that easy blend of the movement, and even as the sort of in that music scene where the embers go up and then they come back down, stuff like that is VFX. It can't be done like, you know, practically with cinematography, and it's just done and blended. I would say flawlessly. It was a big part of this film for me, was just being in awe of how they did that. And like you, Matty, I've made no secret of the fact that I love this film.
Yeah.
Which again we'll talk about a lot later.
Yeah, definitely. We will. Okay, so in terms of VFX, we'll kind of go through who we want to win and who we think will win. I guess it'll be quite unanimous, but Collie?
I want F1 to win, but I think Sinners will win.
Oh, really? Okay. I want and think Avatar. VFX. Todd?
I want Sinners to win it, but I think Avatar will take it.
Fair enough. Any snubs? Did you guys think of anything?
Yeah, so I've got two. Superman, I thought should have been nominated.
Oh yeah, fair. Yeah.
And Todd's not seen it, but the you have Massey, the last Mission Impossible film.
Oh yeah.
The one prior to it was nominated for it, so I'm quite surprised that the last one wasn't, because I thought there was even better, like that underwater sequence, for example. And obviously the flying of the planes. I know a lot of that is practical because Tom Cruise is a maniac, but there would have been a lot of VFX used in that film, and the fact that number 7 was nominated but 8 wasn't, I was quite surprised by, and I would take out Jurassic World and Lost Bus for those two, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. Great shout. Because
I even watched Superman again right before the nominations in preparation for it being nominated, and then it wasn't even nominated, so I wasn't complaining because I love that film. But
any snubs at all?
No VFX ones for me.
No, same. But great shout with Superman. Actually, that's one that totally slipped my mind. Right, okay. So cinematography then. The first one nominated for cinematography was Frankenstein, a film again we'll kind of discuss a bit about later on. So in terms of cinematography of Frankenstein, College, want to get a start with that?
Yeah, I thought it's Guillermo del Toro, is it? So his films are always going to look good. I thought the opening sequence aboard the ship, especially, was really good. But then I thought a lot of his like practical set work, Oscar Isaac doing the kind of, not a symposium, but kind of the demonstrations and stuff in that room were really good. His house was shot brilliantly as well. A lot of the, like, was it a basement that the monster was in, kind of thing? Where it was weird, kind of basement in the area. I thought that was really cool. But yeah, I nothing more to say other than really, I thought it was a really well shot film, a worthy nominee, and kind of just GDT. It just lends him to this kind of very stylistic gothic vibe that he always tends to bring, or has tended to bring the last X amount of films that he's done.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree. And it says a lot that he actually came up to Scotland and even near me, he was shooting at a place called the Necht Estate, which we've walked the dogs at multiple times. So yeah, it's
is it there that he was saying that he was living in a haunted room, or was that somewhere else? He was tweeting at one point being like, I'm in Scotland and I'm in a haunted room or something.
Yeah,
I asked for a haunted room.
I was going to say, that's his idea of a holiday, isn't it? Like,
but I know he was in Edinburgh as well, wasn't he, for quite a lot of it. So I know Edinburgh's big on the whole ghosty kind of thing. But yeah, I thought the cinematography for this film, phenomenal. Some of the shots, as you say, like even the kind of like the subterranean like aqueducty thing, wasn't it? Like kind of
aqueduct, that's it.
Was like beautiful, but also kind of haunting as well. It was it was great. I think some of the shots, and as you say, with Guillermo del Toro, it's totally on piece. It's on piece. That's a word, isn't it? On piece for him. I'm sure it is.
It's a word. I don't know if you're using it correctly.
I thought cinematography.
It's normally off-piste is the term.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
So you saying on-piste, I guess, kind of works.
Yeah, it works. It definitely works. Yeah, there you go. See, for his sort of his sort of vision and stuff. So yeah, I thought cinematography wise, it's phenomenal and a very worthy nomination for this. Todd, thoughts?
Yeah, just stunning. The lab shots, and like you say, with it being practical, he's just done a phenomenal job of getting how grand those spaces are, and really sort of demonstrating that. I thought that was phenomenal. I'm with you. The shot in the sort of the lecture theatre, that was that like breathtaking. I was lucky like to see it at the cinema, and I think it's one of those films, obviously, with it being a Netflix property, that Guillermo del Toro fought for making sure that it got a decent theatrical release and all that kind of, you need that to see it on a big screen, because it was just breathtaking. And I think it's going to be hit. I think in another year, this could have been a winner. But I just think that the category is so strong that it might not be.
Mhm.
But I'm
Next nomination was for Marty Supreme for cinematography. Now, Collie, again, we'll talk about this later in a bit more kind of detail. But what do you think the cinematography of Marty Supreme?
I thought it was shot really, really well. I was like, we will come to the film later, but I loved the film. I thought it was brilliant. I thought some of the shots that stood out for me were like the long kind of lensed shots from when he was playing in London in the ping pong tournament. Like, so it's not the ones that are like right close to the table, but it's the ones that you're viewing it as a spectator, and it kind of showed that by cutting back to show, Gwyneth Paltrow in the crowd or whatever, and you're just watching them from afar. And even when after he's won round one and it cuts back to him, I think in the next round, it's showing you him, but like 3 or 4 tables in. So you have to kind of frame it so you're seeing him, but there's also these like tables in your way and stuff. I thought it was just a really nicely shot film, and it was kind of, it's weird. It's a weird thing to kind of describe, but it was kind of shot a bit manically or maniacally, one of the two. And it just had me on edge. I don't know if it was just like some of the angles that they were using. I mean, Todd knows more about the Dutch angles and all that kind of weird stuff than me, but I don't know. Just the way it was shot had me on the edge of my seat, and that's a very Safdie thing. And as you know from their previous films and stuff, but yeah, there was no like, this is the shot that's going to get cinematography, or this is the blah 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 blah. But just a really well shot. Like, I mean, it's kind of a weird thing to describe, but it was just well lit, but it wasn't like overly lit. I thought in terms of the set dressing and stuff, I thought it was good to make you feel that you were back in this time. It wasn't modern or anything like that. And I think some of the, like, I think, is it one of the posters or it's one of the scenes that's used quite a lot, is him running down the street. He's got his like case in his hand and stuff. I just thought shots like that were really good, but not too flashy. But a lot of the, not so much the ping pong being shot itself, but the stuff surrounding the ping pong, I thought was really good. Like that bar or bowling alley or whatever that they keep going back to a couple of times, or sorry, the pool hall, kind of ping pong hall type thing. And then when he's in, when he like hustles that guy and pretends that he isn't who he is, just the way it's shot, it's like very crowded in, and you feel like on top of the scene in a way. But yeah, I again, we'll come back to how much I enjoyed the film in general, but a worthy nominee.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's like it's kind of the claustrophobia of it at some points, isn't it? It makes you feel kind of stuck in. But yeah, it's a very Safdie sort of short film. A lot of what I was surprised by, what I thought was really good, and this will, we'll discuss about it more when it comes to actor stuff as well, because I think a lot of it was Timmy. But when it's like kind of like on him, like you're almost looking at it at the point of view from, like when he's speaking to Odessa Zion's character and stuff. Like it's always kind of like you're kind of looking up at him a bit and stuff as well, almost like he's kind of at a sort of level above sort of thing. And I don't know how, if it was meant to be like that or what they did, but it just felt like we were there and watching him and like kind of at the front what like of his kind of rise to being the best at table tennis stuff. So I thought that was really well done. I totally agree with table tennis stuff as well, especially when it started to get intense at this, like the halls and stuff, like how the crowd was like almost blacked out, and it was like, only thing that was lit was the table tennis what are they called? Tables.
That's what they feel.
Tables. But yeah, again, the whole sort of like kinetic movements they had, you're right, that scene when he's running with his in the streets with his like bag and stuff, it's proper Safdie, like how it like kind of slowly kind of zooms in a bit with him, but we're following him the whole time and stuff as well. Yeah, I thought it was really well shot and definitely added to the film, made it what it was. But again, we'll talk about that.
Just quickly to interject, but it's the same guy who shot Uncut Gems.
Yeah, and you can.
And funnily enough, we've talked about him before on here. He shot that Bardo, False Chronicle of a Handful of Truths.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
And last year he shot Mickey 17, Eddington, and this.
Wow.
He was cinematographer for all three of those.
Wow.
I don't know. We're not going to be talking about two of them, but yeah, I just thought like three big films. I think last year. And three different directors, but like notable directors. Obviously, he's a trusted hand because he's worked with Fincher, Woody Allen, Sidney Pollack, all those back in the day. So, a steady hand. Anyway, Todd, sorry, what was your thoughts?
I thought, really well shot film. I think it'll suffer in terms of like a potential win because it's more subtle. In terms of the shots, it's not these huge wide shots. It's not, but I think for me the change in how quickly the shots change. So like that scene where he's running, it goes from sort of like in the apartment down to the ground, out of the window down to the floor, and it's constantly moving. It's like that, it shares that intensity. And then when you've got shots like the table tennis pool hall, and when he's actually playing, it's still and it's calm, and it is those like sort of wide shot, and like I love that change of it sort of drags you along with the feeling of the film. It drags you along with that intensity, with the cinematography, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
In terms of, you're feeling what he's feeling because you can't fucking relax because you don't know what's coming next. And that's part of the beauty of the when you say like when we say it's typically Safdie, like that's the beauty of his films is that they're just a heart attack waiting to happen. And that's down a large amount to the cinematography. I know obviously we'll talk about this a lot more, but in terms of cinematography, it ripped because it was subtle, and I think it'll suffer this time. But as more people watch it and do rewatches of it, the more they'll be blown away by it.
Yep, definitely. Right, next one is cinematography. One battle after another. Todd, take us away.
The cinematography of this film is just ridiculous. I think it's one of the most creative uses of cinematography that I've seen. I'll say ever. In terms of, and I'm sorry that I'm the first person to talk about this film, but the shot on the front of the car going up and down those hills, those little banks, was just mind blowing. To see it, even the. I mean, he loves a tracking shot. We've talked about this before. He loves DiCaprio doing that sort of hodgepodge run that he does. It's not quite a run. It's not quite a jog. And that follow that the camera does with him was phenomenal. But even the shutting of the door and how it's like the camera is left on absolutely nothing for a couple of seconds until the door gets shut. And that's on top of the simple things that they do. You know, the sort of just the again wide shots of things, the track and shot through Sensei's apartment, and I think I know we're going to talk about the film, but even just the it adds to that DiCaprio wanting to just charge his phone, and we're going all the way through this fucking apartment. I thought the cinematography led itself really well to that as well.
Collie?
It's brilliant.
Just to kind of echo everything that Todd said. It's just masterfully shot. It's the same guy that he's used for Phantom Thread and Licorice Pizza, but he's actually getting his own cinematography like name against it this time, because I think for Licorice Pizza it was shared, and then for Phantom Thread PTA was doing that whole it's not got a specific style, so we're all going to share whatever shite he said at the time. But like I think this guy, Michael Bauman's his name, or Bauman. He's finally got to, put his own imprint on it, I think. And yeah, the big standout shots are that chase sequence at the end. But I think even one of my favourite kind of shots or sequences is when Chase Infinity and Sean Penn are in that church. and they're at like the far end of the church, and there is obviously shots like close up of them and stuff, but it keeps kind of drawn back and showing them just as far away from you as it possibly can in this room, and the way that she's like facing the camera and he's like not like 90 degrees to her while they're having the conversation, I thought was just really, really cool. And a lot of the, not just the chase sequence stuff, but just the onboard car stuff, like when Leo's asking where they've went and stuff like that, and we'll come back to that scene when we're talking about Leo's performance. I'm sure there's a standout moment in it, but yeah, just wonderfully shot. Again, lucky enough to see it in IMAX. Blew me away. I'm obviously a massive PTA fan in general, so I can be a little bit biased towards it, but I think this has been getting all the accolades thus far, and justifiably so.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, it's hard to not just say what you guys have said, because it's such an interesting thing that they've done. And yeah, for me, the standout cinematography part was that car chase towards the end, which I believe was kind of like almost improvised. I think it was something that they kind of added in towards the end. They noticed that road and stuff, and I think he just whipped out his camera and that was it. Which is, again, just shows the sort of the eye that these sort of professional directors and cinematographers and that have, to take that and just make it so iconic as it already is incredible. But yeah, no, the whole thing is just masterfully shot, as you know PTA's films normally are, but this time it just feels like a level above for me. We obviously spoke about PTA and his films and that in a previous episode, so go check out if you haven't already. But yeah, it felt for me like a step up. I thought it was great, and it might just be the fact that he, as you said, Colley's maybe relinquished a little bit more of the work to someone else, has allowed him to focus on different things as well. But yeah, I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Right, next one. The next nomination on cinematography is Sinners, of course. So the second time we're talking about already. But I mean, for me, certainly the cinematography is one of the most important parts of it. We spoke about the VFX, the sort of the main set piece around the whole different music years and eras and stuff. That for me, as well as like the way the camera moves around the whole juke joint, is just masterful. Like, it's unbelievable. It's a scene that for me, I get goosebumps every time I see it. And yeah, just the way the camera goes around the different people who are actually there, but then the sort of the ghosts of the past and future that Miles Canton has, or sort of Preacher Boy has sort of like brought up from using his voice and stuff, is just unbelievable. And a lot of like the not just that scene, but a lot of like the music scenes are so well done as well. Like Perline's song as well, where she's like stamping her feet and everyone's getting up and a thing there. It's almost like engrossing you in the juke joint, and you feel like you're there and you're getting into the whole thing. So yeah, cinematography for Sinners for me was fantastic. Todd, thoughts?
Yeah, everything. I echo everything you said. That pale moon is just ridiculous, and I think to have such a claustrophobic space that's so full of people, and not feel like it's and not feel like you are too claustrophobic in it. There was plenty of space to shoot in it. You get every bit of the juke joint in there. I think even like the fight scenes and stuff that again didn't feel, you weren't like too on top of them. You could see what was happening the whole time. And the only time that you probably couldn't is when the twins are fighting each other, which obviously I think is on purpose, that you're trying to figure out who's on top and who's winning or whatever. The aspect ratio change for me as well was such a huge decision. And when it opens up as they're driving through the cotton fields, I nearly shit myself. Like, it was just so good. Do you know what I mean?
Is that what you normally do when something's good? You shit yourself.
Yeah, It's like it's an involuntary defense mechanism type thing against something being amazing. Honestly, it was just. It was so.
Oh me.
I know, like obviously we talked about it already. We're going to keep talking about it. I saw this film at the cinema. I had like a day in Newcastle where I'd just gone for the day and thought I'm just going to see as many as I can, as many as I want. Saw it on the morning. Went to see another film, and then I was like, "Fuck it, I'm going back." And it's one of the only films. I think it is the only film I've ever seen twice in the same day. And I was like, if I don't get to see this at the cinema again, I'm going to be devastated. So while I'm here, let's fucking go and see it because of that aspect, because of how grand it felt, and then how personal a juke joint felt. Even shots of like what the little cabin, the little sort of
Mm.
shop cabin, I thought were just so well done, and it blew me away. Really did.
Collie?
Yeah, I thought the cinematography was excellent. Talking about the aspect ratio, it's the one that got me. I didn't quite poo myself, but I was, I was blown away by was when they're all waiting for the vampires to come in and they're arming themselves, and just as like I think it's from behind them, and they're looking on the door that's a way to open with all the vampires. It just expands and expands and expands into the whatever ratio it is, IMAX ratio or whatever. I thought that was really cool. I thought a lot of the shots when they were driving through the cotton fields and stuff, and them singing in the car, or Delroy Lindo telling his obviously really horrible story and stuff like that. I thought that was really good just to show how like expansive it was, because all you could see was fields upon fields upon fields, and they're down this like big dirt track between it. But yeah, just echoing what both of you said, I thought it was really really well shot and intelligently shot as well. The choices to choose as and when to change ratios and what to showcase in terms of making this warehouse feel bigger but feel smaller at the same time was really really well done.
Yep, definitely. And the final nomination in cinematography is Train Dreams. Collie starts off.
So not a lot of flashy cinematography in this, but I thought really really well done as well. A lot of it's based in forests, and it's all to do with the felling of trees and the kind of nature and all the kind of sharp cuts that they have when Joel Egerton's like remembering something or cutting away to, and it just like there's like flash cuts of 3 or 4 seconds, and it's like a guy cutting a tree, and it's an animal doing this, or it's this, or it's this, or it's this. I thought that was really interesting. There were the kind of the shot of the boots on the tree. I think is a very striking image that like I know we're going to talk about this when it comes to best picture and that, so I won't say too much, but I thought it was just a really moving film, both emotionally, but I thought like it felt really like lived in, I guess, because like it's obviously these forests have been here for hundreds and thousands of years and stuff like that, and we're coming along and chopping it down and stuff. I thought it just really spoke to that there was this like claustrophobia, but also like openness because you're out in nature with some of the shots. I thought one of the cool shots, which nothing to really do with what I just said, but it's the one where, because obviously the film's like he's telling different stories throughout his life, like different incidents. A lot of them are really sad. But it's the one, it's showing them like camping or they're on their lunch or whatever. And the guy like approaches from behind the camera and he's like, "Oh, is any of you blah, 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 blah." And then the guy starts running and he shoots him, and it's all the camera's like still for the whole thing. And he shoots him, and you see the guy like in the background, like after being shot once, like struggling, and he just walks over and shoots him again. And then what does he say? He's like, "Oh, if any of you have got a problem, let's settle this now, or I don't want to be looking over my shoulder." I just thought that the fact that they just held that shot for that whole sequence and it wasn't dynamic at all was interesting. I don't know if that was a choice because it was like Joel Edgerton was obviously in the shot, but that's like he wasn't part of the scene, so they're like, well, this is just an incident and we'll just show you it like that. I don't know, I'm not intelligent enough maybe to break down why they did it like that, but I thought that was one that stood out to me in terms of like why have they done that, or that looks like different compared to what the rest of the film looked like and stuff. So yeah, just a beautifully shot film. And a lot of the kind of campfire sequences at night during their discussions, it's really really dark, but they lit it just enough that you can see everybody's faces and stuff like that. I thought it was an excellent film.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
From a cinematography angle, I'm not going to say anything else.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I think the cinematography for it was unbelievable. Like the fact that they went with the ratio, which is the 3:2 ratio, so it's kind of like it's almost like a rectangle. But the way that I sort of saw it, and this is going to sound very pretentious, but it felt like a picture within each frame. So like I just thought
I like
it
it.
was, yeah, thank you. Yeah, I just thought it was beautifully shot, and it felt like we were watching art. Oh, that's a bit too far.
Oh,
That's a
fuck
lot
off.
of it. That's a lot of
Boo.
it. Yeah, gosh.
We can
But
watch ballet.
opera actually for me. Fuck you, Timmy. But yes, yeah. No.
What did you say?
But yeah, I thought it was unbelievable. Like the way it kind of shows, even the kind of progression from the sort of what early 1900s to like kind of later on to like the 50s 60s and the flight and stuff as well. The way that that was kind of shown, just the whole thing just looked beautiful. And yeah, I absolutely I was blown away by the shots. It was art. It was truly art. Todd.
I agree with you. I agree in terms of the whole. You could pause it at any point, and that would be you could analyze it for days. Um, I thought that like the shots of the forest and that sort of like the symmetry of the trees as they come. I thought that was so well done. I know we're getting very on our own arse, aren't
Yeah,
we?
Todd, you're pretentious here.
um, but even like the shot of so towards the end where he sees his face, the
Mm,
narrator says about he sees his face in the mirror for the first time in a decade or whatever. That shot of just Joel Edgerton's sort of withered face with like the grey hair and stuff, I thought was phenomenal. But this film has its cake and eats it because at the end, so it's been nominated for best cinematography, and then it goes, here's a montage of all of the best shots from the film, and then it literally goes like boom, boom, boom. And I know why it's not doing it for nominations, but the one again, the boots thing is beautiful. Like that
mm,
was just such a wonderful shot. But the train going across the bridge where it was like the smoke sort of like almost engulfed, and it's got like the light coming through from the train, stuff like that was just shot so well. It was lived in. I think is a great phrase to use. Like it feels like a warm film. Is the way that I would put it. Like how it's shot. How it's shot. I'm not talking about the actual film itself.
yeah.
Just again beautifully shot, and one for me that came out of nowhere in terms of if it wasn't nominated, probably wouldn't have watched it, or it might. Do you know what I mean? It wouldn't have sort of appealed to me, and I'm pleased. I mean, this is why I'm chuffed that we do this because then we do experience the whole range of it, and it was just a beautifully shot film.
Mhm, absolutely. Right. Okay. Well, wants and thoughts for cinematography. For me, I want Train Dreams to take it, but I think One Battle After Another will take it. Collie?
I want one battle after another, but I think Sinners will win it.
Todd?
Want one battle after another to win it, and I think it'll take it as well.
Fair enough. Any snubs, Collie?
Hamnet, I thought
Mhm.
was snubbed. To be honest, I thought that was an amazingly shot film. But I don't know what I'd cut out. Probably Frankenstein. To be honest, no offense, Todd, but I'd probably cut Frankenstein.
Todd, any snubs?
No, I'd have gone with Hamlet. I don't know again where I'd have taken anything out, but I agree with Hamlet.
I
I've
was
got.
gonna say sentimental value as well, because that's a completely different type of cinematography. It's a lot of conversations and it's a lot of interiors and stuff. But I don't think I could. I don't think I could swap out two. You know, I don't know
Mhm.
what I'd cut. Potentially Marty Supreme even out of it for sentimental value, but I prefer Marty Supreme. So
Yeah.
sorry, Massey.
No, it's fine. I was gonna say I've got a couple. It's not snubs, but it's like ones that I think were kind of up there. And I had to Google to make sure that they were eligible for it. But 28 years later and Bone Temple.
Yep.
Either of those, like the so
They'd both be
creative.
eligible.
Yeah, it said that. Yeah, I
See,
Googled
because I looked up snubs for this, and I seen people talking about Jack O'Connell for next year, And it's the same as
Oh.
I Swear, or something like that. Can only, like, they were talking about him being nominated for next year because it's not released in the US until after the window or something. I don't know.
I did Google it. And it did say
I'm
that
gonna
it
believe you or
was...
whatever, but
Yeah.
I've seen some people, but the internet's full of stupid people, so
Yeah.
probably.
Well, certainly
including
if
us.
it's yeah, well, definitely us. If it's not eligible for this year, then they better be getting a nod next year. So
Yeah, but no,
yeah,
but I agree. Both really well shot films.
yep. Right, okay, that's us. That's the first one done, isn't it? We'll move on to the next one, which is the best animated feature. So nominations were Arco, Elio, Little Amelie, or the character of Rain, Zootopia 2, and K-pop Demon Hunters. Now, this will be basically the only time this is the only time we'll talk about these films. So we'll kind of go a bit more, I suppose, general, but like a bit more about our thoughts on the film as a whole. So first of all, Arco. Collie, how about you start us off here?
It's weird talking about animated films because I feel like the whole time I'm just gonna be, well, I liked the animation style and the voice acting was really good, but literally that's what I'm gonna say about Arco. I thought the story was decent. I thought it was interesting. I don't know if it was based on any other media or anything like that, but I thought this whole, boy transported out of his time and stuff like that was interesting enough. But the art style I thought was really like kind of reminded me of God, what's the show? Invincible.
Mhm.
Invincible in a way. I don't know if it's like exactly like looks the same and stuff, but it just reminded me of that. I don't know if it was the cape and the flying about reminding me of superheroes, but thoroughly enjoyed it. From a story aspect, I didn't think it did anything different, but I was moved later on in the film when his parents arrive and he realizes that they're really old because they've been searching for him for so long, and it just kind of, I don't know. I don't really know how to express it, but it's consequences for your actions kind of thing. He thought he was just away on a wee jolly because he was bored or whatever, but he turns out that he's cost his parents the whole of their like
Lifetime.
not adult lives, but like lifetime essentially searching for him. Yeah. So I thought that was quite moving. And that kind of bumped up a little bit towards the end of me. Not that I was bored, but it was just it was going to be a throwaway film until then, and I think that made me just a little bit more invested towards the end and a bit more retrospective about it. I'll pass it to Todd because there's something I was away to say I quite enjoyed. I know that he didn't enjoy, so I'll make him talk about it first, and then I'll laugh at him because I disagree.
Is it not just the whole film that Todd didn't enjoy?
But yeah, but there's a certain aspect which is the last line of his letterbox review.
Yeah. Go on, Todd.
Yeah, it just didn't. In the words of Carl Pilkington, it didn't buzz me. It didn't like get me in any way, shape, or form. I was lost from early doors, but I think the animation style I really struggled with. It felt anime light. And I kept looking at it, thinking I've researched it since. It's rotoscoping. It feels like it was rotoscoped, like that Lord of the Rings, the animated version from the 80s. And I just couldn't get away with it. I couldn't watch it and feel comfortable, I suppose. Yeah, the ending didn't hit me in the same way. The end, I
Because
was
you're a
just
miserable bastard.
just for those of you who aren't missing out on my letterbox, I did say maybe I just have zero whimsy and or heart, which is,
Yeah.
potentially correct. I just like it just didn't sort of grip me. I thought it was an interesting story enough that just lost its way a little bit, and the three comic relief. I use the word bozos. Those guys who were like hunting them down, I thought they just pissed me off every time they were on the screen. I just wanted them to be off it. It really annoyed me. It was it felt pandering. At them three, that's what it felt. It felt like, oh, hang on, this is getting a bit dark. Let's just chuck some fucking slapstick idiots in. That's how it felt.
Nice.
Not for me at all.
Before I talk about it, Collie, do you want to sort of answer to his hate?
I just found them funny. I just found them silly. They were fine. I wasn't offended by them in the slightest. But Todd seems to hate them. And then Todd didn't get sad about Mickey the robot either, so take that with a pinch of salt.
Yeah, okay, fair.
Yeah.
Right, Massey, what did you think?
Loved it. Absolutely loved it. I thought it was a fucking phenomenal film.
Let's not get carried away here. But yeah.
No, I genuinely did. I don't know. There's something about the animated films this year that like just struck a chord with me. It must be because I'm properly emotionally mature. I'm very empathetic, and but yeah,
None
this
of the
one just
above.
or none of the above, yeah,
Me neither.
or just a bullshitter. But yeah, I loved it. I went into it thinking like, oh gosh, here we go. But I was totally into it. The fact that it's like in the future, but like the near kind of future, and then it's like still Earth, but like different enough. Like with the robots and things as well. Yeah, I absolutely loved it. I thought animation was incredible. It was almost like, as you say, kind of like Invincible, but also kind of like the old Pokemon anime as well. It kind of felt a bit like that at points. Especially with the three bozos, they were almost like they always felt like Team Rocket, like but with the glass and stuff. I thought they were funny, and they added a load of heart as well to it. The fact that we thought they were the antagonists, but they actually turned out that they were kind of helping. Yeah, I thought the growth between the two characters was brilliant. And the reveal at the end with the parents, like I genuinely like gasped when that happened. It was such a weighty reveal. I thought it was great that they'd been searching their whole life for him, in what was days, weeks to him, or days really. For them was a whole lifetime of stuff, and yeah, I just thought it was an absolutely phenomenal film, and I loved every minute of it. It was 90 minutes, and it flew by, and yeah, welled up a couple of times. So I can't really say much more. I really enjoyed the film. I was really surprised by it. But I have a heart, unlike Todd. The next nomination, Best Animated Feature, was Elio, Disney Pixar. So Todd, do you want to start us off with that?
Yeah, again, it just didn't. It did nothing for me. It felt paint by numbers. Being the miserable twat that I am, it felt like I'd sort of seen it before, and I'm not entirely sure where. I don't understand this new direction with the sort of rounded face people that Pixar seemed to be going down. It was Luca was the previous one, wasn't it? With the same sort of animation style. I thought Elio was a bit of a brat. He annoyed me. I thought voice performances were good, which is a large part of it. But yeah, it was one of, and I imagine again, I'm not the target audience, so maybe that's an issue. Where I think like Arco, although it's an animated film, could be angled more towards adults in terms of the subject matter and how it's made. This is directly aimed at kids, and it feels patronizing. It feels sort of pandering, and when you look at classic kids films, the reason that they're classics is because they're good fucking films, but just made for kids. This just felt pandering. It felt like pandering.
I like that we're two films into animated, and you said that they're pandering each time. Love it.
Did I say that for the last one as well?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is.
Brilliant.
Bullshit.
I sort of agree. I think in terms of the film, a lot of the emotional moments, the emotional beats felt like they were wanting us to be moved as opposed to letting us naturally be moved, which is a shame. There was still heart in it, but just at moments I felt like it was like it was almost shouting "be sad here" or that kind of thing, which was a bit of a shame. The VFX I thought was really nice. I thought it was some of the space stuff was really well done. Some of the characters in space felt, and I've said this in my letterbox thing as well, a bit like Rick and Morty, like but watered down. It just felt a bit like silly for the sake of being silly.
Well, not everyone understands Rick and Morty because you need to
Well,
have a certain intellect level, so that makes sense.
that's a very, very good point. So yeah, absolutely, I totally agree. But yeah, it just felt a bit paint by numbers for a Disney Pixar, which I suppose they kind of have been more and more recently. But yeah, it was fine. It was a good enough film. But it didn't blow me away like the other ones did, unfortunately. Collie?
Yeah, fine's a great term for it. I think in terms of it's not one I'm probably ever going to go back and watch unless I'm doing a full Pixar watch along. But it's not, or like not watch along, but like watch through or whatever. But it's just not one of those ones that stands out in their catalog. It is one of those like they tend to be like cater for different age groups, and this is definitely on the younger spectrum in terms of if it's a teenager or if it's a young kid under 10 or if it's a young adult or if it's an adult kind of themed one. This is definitely on the younger side, so probably that's why it didn't vibe with us. I thought the animation style was fine, very Pixar kind of coded though, obviously. In terms of like Todd said, the human shapes and faces and stuff. Thought some of the aliens were quite funny. From a comic relief standpoint, but yeah, not one I'm ever going to go back to watch again. But Pixar are nearly always going to be nominated for this Oscar, so we're going to have to watch them year on year, which is fine. This is just not one of those ones that I'm, like I say, going to go back to or even remember probably in a year or two.
Yep. Right, okay. The next film, Little Amelie, or the Character of Rain. I'll start this one off. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Again, I think the start was a bit weird. It did get really, it was starting off really strange. I didn't know where it was going. But once it kind of kicked in, I was really kind of, in awe of it, to be honest. I thought it looked phenomenal. It was a different type of animation. Looked almost like humanoid, but not. And I thought it was really cool. It felt more on like the Studio Ghibli side of animation than anything else. And there was a lot of obviously themes, which, like the identity of yourself from like kind of like like a cultural side of things, which I thought was really well done and really interesting to explore. And there's a lot about like loss and stuff as well, which was really well done. Again, it made me well up a couple of times. So with these types of films, if they can do that, I'm also, as I say, I'm emotionally very mature and empathetic, but yeah, to get me, I think it's got to be pretty good. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought the main character, Little Amelie, was Todd was saying about Elio being a brat. She was almost as much of a being a brat as could get away with, but also being a human kid, which I thought was really well done. So yeah, no, I thoroughly enjoyed this film, and again, I was really surprised by it. Collie?
I really enjoyed the story aspect of it. It was moving at points. I didn't really vibe with the animation though. I thought it was a little bit weird, like not in a bad way. It just, I guess it's not what you're used to watching or anything like that. Like similar to maybe Todd's thoughts on Arco, it was just he didn't really click with, and I didn't really click with it. Like I thought the eyes were a bit weird and threw me off a wee bit. But no, I really charming movie overall. Like Amelie, like you say, was just a little cheeky shit at times, kind of thing, but not like doesn't put you off or anything like that in terms of like you're still vibing with her and vibing with her story and that. Like I say, moving at a few points and stuff, but yeah, one that I would definitely go back and watch in the future. And yeah, just a worthy nominee, I would say, against the ones that we've discussed so far. I think it's probably the standout for me. Again, just the animation didn't really click with me as much as I maybe thought it would or hoped it would.
That's fair enough. Todd?
Yeah, it was decent. I thought it was decent. I think I'm with you on the animation style. It felt strange. It felt not what's not uncanny valley as such, because I know that's like supposed to like real human almost, but it put me off in some way. I thought the relationships in the film were the strongest point. that's where it really got me. Especially her writing her name in on the window. I thought was a beautiful little scene. I think it's got some great ideas in there, especially this idea of her thinking that she's God and not being human and not being like everybody else, and finally finding out that she is. I thought that was really cool. It's possibly one that I might go back to. Because again, I don't think it's aimed at kids. I think it's an animated film. It's like they've chosen that medium for a reason. It was, like I said, good, not great.
Fair enough. All right, next one in this animated films is Zootopia 2. Collie, take us away.
So I loved the first one. And I didn't realize it had been like 10 years or 9 years last year, but 10 years since the original. I think it was Mark Kermode's review that when he said that, I was like, it can't have been that long, and it was funnily enough. But yeah, I loved the first one. Loved this. I thought it was a great continuation of the story with a bit of time passing. I thought the relationships had developed since the first one. Animation style wise, I love it. I think it's amazing. The kind of what's the term? Anna something.
Anamorphic.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, you fucked up, so I didn't have to say it. It's fine. That aspect of like the animals being more human-like and stuff in terms of their movements and that, and the speaking and stuff. I think it blends it really well. At no point does it feel strange or like off-putting or anything like that. I thought the addition of the new animals were good. I thought the story different. The kind of betrayal I didn't really see coming personally. I don't know if it was projected. I've never really. I meant to go back on rewatches and see like if you can be hinted at beforehand or whatever. But I thought the twist was really good. And yeah, I just this is probably one that I don't love it currently as much as the first one, but I feel like in years to come it could end up being on par with the first one. But I just thought the originality of the first one was obviously the big thing, and I kind of like how they took their time with the sequel to it. They didn't rush it out because the first one was really successful. And I think this one is Pixar's currently most successful film of all time or something like that. I think. I'm sure when I was looking up the box office prior to this it was. I'll have to double check that when you are talking about it. But yeah, loved it. And I was buzzing to be able to watch it a couple of times in prep for this.
Yeah, I totally agree. I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it. I thought the whole story about the the snakes, or sorry, the reptiles being kind of cast out and sort of pushed underground by the kind of ruling class. It's almost like a communist propaganda or something. But it was really good. I thought it was a really interesting take on kind of society and stuff. I thought as well, like the genius was having Ke Huy Quan as the snake, because his voice acting, like it just felt, it never at any point felt like he was being sarcastic or evil or anything like that. How the way the reptiles were made out to be is, from the other animals in Zootopia. I thought he's got such an earnest voice to him, and added loads to the character. And yeah, I'm not sure about the twist. I don't know if that. I certainly didn't pick up on anything throughout. I was kind of surprised as you were. I thought he was kind of just on the good side. But yeah, no, and as I said again, I think even little things like when they finally get to the reptile, the snake sort of like world, town, village kind of thing, the things like the carpets being marked as like an S and stuff, and little touches like that just made it look real. And yeah, I really enjoyed that. Shakira's song again was great. Was again, I'm with you. I don't think it was as good as the first one, but it was great. And yeah, Nick and Judy are a fantastic pair. I think Jason Bateman, anyway, he's the way he delivers things again is really sarcastic. But in this one, there was a lot more heart about his character, especially with his relationship with Judy. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed this film. Todd?
Yeah, sorry, just to interject before Todd. I've done the classic Pixar, Walt Disney Animation Studios. They're different kind of things.
Yeah.
It's Walt Disney Animation Studios' highest grossing film of all time.
We'll let you off. It's fine. Todd?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's the leads are fantastic. I love that you can recognize voices so easily. They're not playing anybody else in terms like Andy Samberg is just playing Andy Samberg, and I love that. That isn't a criticism. I think it works really well. I love like you say, that sort of message. When I talk about pandering and patronizing the kids, this is getting across a message about how people can be like ostracized and pushed out without, do you know what I mean, going too over the top. Or I loved the Ratatouille moment at the where they bust through like all the shops and stuff, and the hat comes off and there's a fucking rat control. I lost my mind at that. That was amazing.
Did you shit
and I
yourself?
think not quite, not quite. I managed to get upstairs in time. But like those, I think this is what like Disney Pixar do really well, is that they there's those references and the little nods and like blink and you'll miss it type things. I thought the sheep being in the Hannibal style cell was phenomenal. Little things like that. Yeah, I enjoyed this, and I think it's one that like a Sunday afternoon sort of thing you can stick on, and it'll just get better with every watch as well. Yeah, really enjoyed it.
Good stuff. Okay, and on
just,
to
just
the
even further on that point, sorry, just it has outgrossed Pixar's highest grossing film, though. Sorry, I'm just doing some background research. Inside Out 2 is the biggest Pixar film.
right. Got you.
But
Got you.
it did 1.7 billion, but Zootopia did 1.8 billion.
Jeez, mental. Okay, I'm glad we've cleared that up. Thank you, Collie.
I'm done now.
Okay, on to the final nomination in the Best Animated Feature. It's K-pop Demon Hunters. I'll start us off. What a film. What a bloody film. I absolutely love it. When I first watched it, like I really enjoyed it, and it was I was like, yeah, a couple of things maybe I'm not too sure of. Watched that again, and it's just phenomenal. The songs are brilliant. The animation is great as well. Like I say, it's like mixing anime and like Spider-Verse type. I mean, it's obviously a Sony animation. The use of the different colors, the story of like someone trying to hide themselves, or feel they have to hide themselves, but then finally being able to be who they are and stuff was great. Yeah, the songs are all absolute bops. The character animation is great. The kind of like the sort of like big cat thingy, big purple cat thing, like he's just brilliant. I love this film, and every time I watch it, I just have a massive cheeser on my face. I think it's fantastic, and yeah, the songs, as I say, are just bangers. I could listen to it like all the time. I even went to a concert in Belfast. It was a K-pop concert.
It would not surprise me, but no, you didn't.
I was buying it, me. I was not like, oh, really? Did you?
That wasn't K-pop.
Guy wouldn't have even left his house, Todd. You know what I mean? Fuck's sake.
Oh gosh, but yeah, fantastic film. Coley.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot more than I expected to. Not that I'd written it off beforehand or whatever, but when you start going on about a film, I'm like, is it good though? Is it really?
You want to hate it just because I keep going on it.
Not necessarily, but I just go away like, well, a normal person like it, you know. That's what I need to kind of preface it with. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought the animation was excellent. I thought towards the end, like when the demons or whatever the band's called, or that they've got everyone's gathering into that big stadium. I thought that was really cool. I just thought it's a weird thing to state as a part of the animation, but I thought the lighting was really cool. In terms of the neon colors and stuff like that, I thought that was excellent. It reminded me a little bit, a little bit of like Big Hero 6 and stuff like that.
Yeah.
In terms of the setting and stuff, because Big Hero 6 is in like San Tokyo or whatever, so it's that kind of Asian American fusion art style and stuff like that. I definitely think that's in this, and yeah, the songs are great. Biffy Clyro actually did a cover of Golden, which I thought is amazing. If you've not heard it, they made it better, obviously.
Oh, of course,
the Scottish accent lended it to the K-pop song, of course. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. It's definitely one that I'll go back to watch more of. And yeah, a worthy nominee, if not, spoiler alert, the best nominee.
Todd?
Yeah, I'd like.
Ruin it. Come on, let's ruin it. Go on,
No,
Todd.
I went with three.
He's like, yeah.
I went with 3.5 stars. I don't think it's a bad film at all. I think it's a good film. I don't know. Like I said, I don't think it's aimed at me, and I know that obviously, like, I just
Same at
I don't
weebs
know
like
what
Massey.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. It's one of those that I'm happy to. Can we stop now? Is that something we can do?
Isn't that a wee thing?
Yeah, it just I don't know. I don't know why it didn't hit with me, and I'm fine being wrong. I'm fine being wrong about it. Like, as in, it challenges is one that I still haven't gone back to, and I was like, I know I'm wrong about challenges. I know I'm probably wrong about it. It's a phenomenon. It's a worldwide phenomenon, and I get it. But it just, I will rewatch it. I think the songs are brilliant. I think the animation style is great. I think it was the story that just didn't quite hit with me. Was the that sort of up and down. It didn't quite work for me. But again, I'm willing to go back and go, look, actually, it's much better on a rewatch.
I would just like to say, obviously, you said you're going to go back and rewatch it. The first line in your thing is, I'll rewatch it before the Oscars because it looks stunning.
Busy man.
Let's leave it
Busy
there.
man.
Okay.
Let's pull up Todd's recent watches on Letterboxd.
The whistle. Fucking idiot.
I was so excited.
Yeah, I don't think K-pop Demon Hunter is in his recent watch, are they, Collie? No. All right.
No, it's not.
No. Any gold in there, Collie?
To be fair, like the last week and a half's just all the films that you had to watch for this. And randomly The Thing one night. American Psycho.
Comfort films.
I'm trying to see when he last watched The Devil one.
Late Night with the Devil.
Late Night with the Devil. His favourite film of all time.
It's been a while, I think. I don't think you've watched it this year, have you?
I've watched it this year.
Of course.
I've watched it this year.
Well, anyway, rewatch K-pop Demon Hunters and you'll enjoy it more. Right, okay, so we'll go on to our wants and thinks. So, again, I'll go first. I want K-pop Demon Hunters to win it, of course I do. But I think Zootopia 2 will take it. Collie?
I'm the opposite. I think K-pop will win it, but I want Zootopia 2 to win it.
Fair enough.
Sinners, if it was nominated, probably.
Todd?
I'm the same as Collie. I want Zootopia to win it, but I think K-pop will take it.
Here's hoping, boys. Here's hoping. Any snubs?
Yeah, there was one actually. So I watched it because I was trying to do the top grossing films stuff on Letterboxd, and it's Nisa 2. It's the highest grossing film of all time, like of all time. It's like 2.3 billion or something like that. It's a Chinese animated sequel, but it did not submit to. It was eligible because it had a LA screening, which I think makes it eligible or something like that. But it didn't submit itself for the shortlist or anything like that. So I don't know.
That's weird.
Probably some sort of Chinese government thing. No,
Like
because
Zootopia
they're
2.
not allowed to. No, but they don't export stuff or they don't import stuff, or you have to like change stuff in films in order for them to like classify it within the Chinese Film Board or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'd imagine it's something to do with that.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I thought it was a good film. Like the animation in it's incredible, but it just wasn't nominated. So I don't really. You can class it as a snub, maybe, but I don't think they submitted it. So
yeah.
You know, if it was submitted, it probably would have been instead of Elio or something. Probably not Elio, actually. This is Pixar, but whatever. It would have been in instead of something else.
Fair enough. Right, okay. We'll move on to the final category in this part, which is the worst picture. So nominations are The Electric State, Hurry Up Tomorrow, Disney Snow White, Star Trek Section 31, and then War of the Worlds. Well, guys, let's get straight into it. The first one, The Electric State. Todd, why don't you start us off?
Somebody on Letterboxd, I can't remember who it was, and I apologise if you're listening, said this.
It probably won't
this,
be.
this would slap if I was 11. And I completely agree. I think if I was a little kid, I'd have fucking been like, robots and that.
Surely that's got a double meaning. Surely that's a joke because of who's in it.
Oh, I didn't even. That has gone straight over my head. I said, it's not the worst film by any stretch of the imagination. Like, out of these lot, it's bad. It's boring. It's over the top. The acting is piss poor from what is a phenomenal cast, and the script is awful, just woeful. Some of the VFX in it are actually pretty solid. They're actually half decent. If this wins or loses, whatever you want to call it, the Razzie, it'll be because of how much money's gone into it, how big the cast is. Everything that's there should make a great film, and it is dog shit. But again, it's not the biggest pile of dog shit that we're going to talk
about. Yeah, I totally agree. I think, as you say, the VFX of it, some of it is really cool, really well done. The rest of it is just poop. Like, it's really bad. It's forgettable, which, if a movie's forgettable, that's like almost worse than being a really bad movie. The Neil Breen films we'll always remember for the rest of our lives because they were like, really bad but really funny. This is just a nothing burger, and the acting and stuff goes along with it. Chris Pratt doing his like usual sort of like funny shtick gets old very quickly. Millie Bobby Brown is bland. She's such a weird actress because I think she's even said that she doesn't really watch movies and stuff as well. So it's obviously not for love of the game, it's for money, which is fair enough. I absolutely get that. But you can kind of just tell that she's just doing these sort of things just for the paycheck. It's one of those. I honestly, I don't really know what happened, or I can almost hardly remember what happened because it was just so forgettable. But yeah, it's one of those that I'll never think of again. Until now, then this will be completely wiped. It's like a Mission Impossible, not Mission Impossible, Men in Black.
Oh, I was going to say you watch
no,
it.
like a Men in Black onto my eyes, and I don't care about the fact that it cost $320 million is mental, absolutely mental. It was nothing. It was absolutely nothing to me, and it never will be. Collie?
Yeah, the first time I watched these films, I tried to like rate them. Like, is there good stuff in it? Is it 1 star? On my rewatch, I was just like, you know what, fuck this film, and I bumped them all down to half a star, apart from one, which we'll get to. But yeah, I thought the VFX was all right, but like I seen in a review that they maybe used some AI for it and stuff like that, and I was like, oh well, fuck this film then. Can't stand Chris Pratt, Millie Bobby Brown. Whatever. What's Gus Fring doing? Why is he doing stuff like this apart from money? Yeah, just overall pish. Why is Mr. Peanut? I don't even know who the fuck Mr. Peanut is or whatever prior to this. Apparently he's some famous character or whatever, but yeah, just crap all round, and it kind of makes me worried for Doomsday, I'll be honest.
Mm-hmm.
If the Russo, maybe the Russos like Marvel stuff's all they can do well, but it makes me worried for it.
Mm-hmm. That's my biggest fear as well. I really hope it is just a case of if they're giving Marvel stuff, it's good. But I mean, Community was good as well.
Anyway, it's out the same day as June 3, so who gives a shit? And June 3's got an IMAX exclusivity window as well, so it can fuck off and all.
Fair enough.
I'm really excited for Doomsday, though. I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am, but
indifferent.
Yeah, me and Massey are going to reform the podcast, the Marvel podcast,
potentially
run up to Doomsday.
Yes.
Well, if you don't fucking do it, I'm going to take over. Hello, this is Massey 1903, delivery for Tony Sands, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, gosh, yeah, those were the days. Right, let's move on to the next one then. Hurry Up Tomorrow. Collie, do you want to start off this one?
Hurry up to the end of this fucking movie. That's what I was thinking, you know what I mean? Anyway, fuck it. The Weeknd's crap as an actor. Barry Keoghan's crap as an actor, by the way. Terrible. I'm becoming less and less convinced by him. Like I know he's doing the Beatles movies with Mendes, so I'm kind of excited for those because of who's behind it and who else is acting around him. But yeah, he was so fucking bad in this. Like The Weeknd's not even an actor, which is one thing, but he should be a lot better than this. Jenna Ortega was fine. Again, like first time I rated this, I was like, I'll give it a star because I thought she's all right in it. But yeah, on rewatch, I was like, fuck this film. And just story was shit. Wasn't interested. Really like self-indulgent kind of like who gives a fuck about no, it's not even a biopic of The Weeknd. If it was a biopic about him and stuff like that, then that would be one thing. But this is like a fictionalized biopic, or I'd fuck knows, man. It was shite. I
was going to say, you don't want to expand on that?
Yes, pish.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's not really good at all. There's a complaint that I think both me and Todd expressed on it, the merry-go-round of a cinematographer. Like I was genuinely
that was a snub. Actually, that was a snub for the Oscar.
Yeah. I was genuinely getting like motion sickness from the way it was just. Pretty much every scene was just him doing a blank stare or the camera going around him, and that was pretty much it for the whole thing. I like The Weeknd's music. I think some of his songs are good. Some of the songs in here are good because it's his music that I quite enjoy. But that's kind of all I can say about it. I think, yeah, Barry Keoghan and Jenna Ortega, like I wanted them to be the ones to at least help carry him through, because obviously The Weeknd's not really an actor, but they didn't really do much more. They didn't do much to help. Barry Keoghan, certainly, I thought he was shite. He was just shouted at him and hit him a couple of times, and that was kind of it. But yeah, it just felt like he was doing it, as you say, like a self-indulgent thing. Everything just felt pretentious and essentially for him just to show off how great he is and say, "Oh, I've been in a movie. I wrote a movie of myself," and blah blah. I thought it was really bad. There was nothing there of note that made me think it's got potential or he's got potential. It was really bad. Todd?
Yeah, I'm the same. That spinning camera shot thing was infuriating. Like it was so stupid. Performances were shocking. I'm indifferent towards The Weeknd in terms of his music. But I just could not give less of a shit. And I think, like you say, he just wanted to be like, look what I've done. And I can't tell whether Barry and Jenna were in there because, oh, this is our friend. Sorry, like I know them, like first terms type thing. Our Baz and Jen were in it, like because they mates with him and want to support him, or because he was like throwing money at them. But either way, I'm disappointed in them both because I think they're both capable of a hell of a lot more. Yeah, it was shit.
Agreed. All right, let's move on to the next one, and that was Disney's Snow White 2025 version, of course. I can start off if you wish.
Whatever.
It was just bland. There was no sort of creativity to it. The performances were just bad. I mean, I will give Rachel Ziegler a pass. I really like her. I think she's a good actress, and I think she kind of does with what she can with what she's been given, especially that fucking bob cut. Like it is just absolutely.
What did you describe it as?
Oh yeah, Lord Farquaad bob cut and poofy shoulder pieces that made her look like Medicam. If you don't know what Medicam is, it's a Pokemon. If you Google it, it's exactly like her.
Generation.
Yeah. 2 or 3, I think. I'm not.
Forget it then.
Sure. Okay, fair enough.
Gen 1 supremacy.
Yeah, but I mean, the dwarves were disgusting. Like you talk about Uncanny Valley, that was like the highest point of Uncanny, or the lowest point of Uncanny Valley. Gal Gadot was terrible as the protagonist of the antagonist. She wasn't my protagonist. The antagonist, the evil queen. Her singing was shocking as well. None of the songs were really noteworthy. Even the original ones just made modern, but in a in a bad way. I just don't understand why they have to do Disney live action remakes of old films that are absolutely great as they are. Well, I know why. It's money. But yeah, I just thought it was really, really, really bad. Collie?
Yeah, similar to what I've said about the first two. When I watched it the first time around, I was like, oh, well, maybe I'll give it a star because Rachel Ziegler's actually decent, like, with what she's been given. On rewatch, I was like, you know what? Fuck this film, and fuck everyone involved in it. It was just utter crap. I'm with you with the kind of live action thing, but I think they can hit sometimes, like the Lilo and Stitch live action. I really enjoyed, and I
was it
love
good?
the animated
Okay.
one. Yeah, I love the animated one. So there's always exceptions that prove the rule, but this one was doomed from the offset. As soon as the first trailer came out and showed those dwarves, it was just it was over. You know what I mean? And there's the whole behind the scenes drama between, like, you know, should the little people have been used rather than dwarves, and the whole Gal Gadot and Rachel Ziegler being like vocal on each side of the Palestinian conflict and stuff like that. Like, there was just a lot of bad vibes about this.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much that contributed in to it being shite. I think it was always going to be pretty horrendous, to be honest. And yeah, just a big pile of poo. Like Todd after he's seen that cinematography.
Fair enough. Good reference. Todd?
Yeah, I echo everything you say. I think it's wonderful, though, that we get to showcase how fucking bad Gal Gadot is. I think it's brilliant to watch her flounder on that screen. Who told her she could sing? Because that is possibly the worst thing I've seen committed to screen this year. Like, there's no singing. There's no, like, she's not singing. She's not acting. It was awful. And I watched this video about La La Land and about the colours and stuff that they use and how I don't know.
Sorry, right. I'm waiting for you to land this plane, Todd. Right, okay.
Yeah.
I'm with you so far.
Gonna be up on me right.
Okay.
And how Damien Chazelle was saying about how you don't just throw colour at a film because then it becomes oversaturated. That you select colours and you put them in the scene for a reason. This was just a bomb of just over CGI.
Nailed the landing. Nice.
Thank
nice.
you.
Yeah.
Saturated, oversaturated
job.
colour, and it was painful to look at. It was. I don't think Rachel Ziegler did anything. I thought she was shit as well.
Don't get me wrong. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying she was great. I'm saying that she went with what she was given. And I like her in general. So.
And I mean the Farquaad Bob thing is just amazing. I can't find this Pokemon, but I don't care. There's a picture of her on Letterboxd, and it's all I can see now. It's just the Farquaad Bob. Sensational. Thank you for that.
That's all right.
Brilliant.
All right, we'll move on to some more films. I think they're films. Star Trek Section 31. Collie, you look really happy there, so why don't you take it away?
I didn't even know this was a thing. And I like Star Trek. I'm not a massive Trekkie in terms of the TV series. I think you say this in your review, Todd, in terms of like J.J. Abrams was like what pushed me towards being more involved in the kind of Star Trek. I remember watching Nemesis years and years ago in the cinema, and the kind of I dabbled in the Patrick Stewart ones and stuff, but never really involved. And then this comes along. I don't even know what the fuck it is. And then the fucking cherry on the icing of the shitty cake is fucking Jamie Lee Curtis rocks up at the end. And I'm like, oh my God, as if I couldn't fucking hate this film anymore. She rocks up. So yeah, fuck this film. And like, why the fuck's it involved in Star Trek? Like, it should be sued. It should be sued for false representation for being part of Star Trek. Star Trek should sue itself for being, this shit. Michelle Yeoh's fucking crap, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, I know she could put herself down as an Oscar-winning actress now, which we could debate that on the side separately whether she should be or not. But oh my God, she's fucking terrible in this. And Todd, you've got an interesting tidbit on her.
Take it away.
Yeah, she was paid $12 million for this film. Like, that's how pissed off I was. I was literally fucking, how much has she been paid for this shit? It was atrocious.
Jamie
And
Lee
like you
Curtis
say,
probably demanded the same.
for the 5 minutes of screen time she had, whatever it was.
Fuck her.
It was awful from start. And like, I was reading reviews. The only ones that I do read reviews for are the Razzies beforehand, because I'm not particularly that fussed. And I thought it was because it was a shit Star Trek film that people were pissed off with it. That it had nothing to do with the franchise. It's just a bad film. That Irish accent is awful, just ridiculous. And Sam, I know obviously, Massey, you mentioned him as well. Seeing Sam Richardson in this, and Rahul, it was. No, it wasn't this. That was Rahul Kohli.
That was
in
Electric State.
The Electric State. I apologise. Seeing Rahul Kohli in the Electric State, seeing Sam Richardson in this, people who I love and admire in garbage, was just devastating.
100%. Absolutely. I can't really say much more. What I would say is it felt like Rebel Moon tried to be Guardians of the Galaxy, and it didn't take any good stuff from any of them. It's just... It's terrible. Like, I believe it was meant to be for TV at first, but they just whacked out as like a film.
I was going to research into how it ties into like what they've been releasing and stuff in the last couple of years, but I couldn't be arsed.
Yeah, it's probably.
I was just like, I don't want it to be connected, and I don't think it is going to be connected from the brief reading that I read. I think it was supposed to be like a pilot, and it was extended into a movie, and because of how badly it's received, I don't think they're going to make a TV series with it or some shit. So maybe that's why she was paid so much, was because it was going to be a prospective like TV deal.
Sure.
But it's fucking wank.
Yeah. What I would say is I was kind of intrigued by the start of it. I thought that whole sort of thing about the, when she ended up poisoning her family, but basically the child to become like some sort of like head person was kind of like, okay, cool, interesting. But then it... so good.
Yeah, I've changed my mind.
5
Best
stars.
picture. No, I'm with you. I thought that opening, when you said the opening, I was like, oh god, are we talking the whole Suicide Squad introduction of each character thing? And I was like, absolutely. And that's why I was like, oh yeah, that bit. That bit was, there was a promising start to it, and then it just devolved into.
It's a spin-off from Discovery, by the way. I just bothered Marsh there to research it there.
Thanks.
I don't really know Star Trek, so that means nothing to me.
Star Trek Discovery, I watched maybe the first 2 seasons or 5 seasons of it. It was decent. So I think our character was maybe in that. I'm sure my friend Brian from work said our character was in that, and then that's why it spun off or some fucking shit. I don't fucking know.
What I would say is I wish I hadn't discovered this film.
Fuck off, boo.
Right, moving on.
Trying to chase my hurry up tomorrow line. That's what you're doing there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Try to chase that high. Yeah. So the final film in the in the worst picture for the Razzies is War of the Worlds 2025. So me and Todd are kind of agreed on this film. I think Collie has a bit of a different opinion. So okay, we'll go first. Right, that's fine. It's a disgrace. It is an absolute disgrace.
I'll be quiet.
It's an Amazon ad within a 90-minute film. Performances are terrible. Ice Cube, I don't know what he thought he was doing. But
and I see the impression of him.
The over-exaggerated ways that he emoted, the way that he like didn't even care for like his son and stuff. He just like say, "Oh God, no," and then move on to the next thing, and the way, even the visual effects were terrible. The way we're saved by an Amazon drone, and he explains it in full. The guy that works for Amazon, we've got these Amazon drones. They do blah 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 blah, and then that saves the day is just a disgrace. And it's so badly done. The fact it's all on the computer as well, it makes it even worse. I absolutely despise this film. Todd?
Yeah, I'm with you on everything. One of the most egregious bits for me was that your memories are deleting. It was a notification that he got through Facebook that said your memories are deleted. Like, this is a company. Amazon are a tech company. They know how tech works. What the fuck are you doing? The drone thing. I tell people about that scene, and they're like, "Fuck off." No, it's not. And I'm like, please, don't watch the film. Just watch them.
That's it.
Watch them get a memory stick delivered. It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's just very, very bad. There's not a lot. There's no performances in there. Shocking. I'd like to go on, Collie, go on. That's me.
It's the greatest worst film of all time. It's so fucking good. Like, it's not good, but oh my god, it's so funny. Like, my 5-star review on Letterboxd is very facetious because I have it ranked bottom on my last year's, ranked films. I have it at the very, very bottom, only in front of one of the films that I'll say is a snub for this award that we'll come to shortly. But yeah, it's, oh my god, it's so bad. But Eva Longoria's in it, so it's swings and roundabouts. Greatest film ever, or worst film ever. Eva Longoria's in it, so that's got to bump up a little bit. She's crap in it as well, to be honest. Ice Cube's terrible. Yeah, I mean, I love War of the Worlds, like both the Spielberg film and the musical stage show. And I don't even know why this is called the same thing, to be honest. But it's pretty cool on Letterboxd that somebody's made a custom Criterion Collection poster for it. So, yeah.
Sorry,
what a movie!
I didn't want to spoil what you were going to say, and that's why there are 2 5-star reviews on my following list. You.
And is it they say the title? Is it?
Do they say the title?
Yeah.
The United States president is calling the global military response a war of the worlds to save humanity.
Get in there. I'm proud to be the only 5-star aside from that, so I might put it in my top 4 actually.
Oh, it's terrible. It is absolutely terrible. Right, so I've got a headache now. So let's go into our wants and thinks will win. Well, for me, I want and think War of the Worlds will win or lose, as you say, Todd. Got to. Todd?
I want Snow White to win it so badly. I don't think it will. I think War of the Worlds has to take it.
And Collie?
I want War of the Worlds to be, rewarded for it. So I want it to win, but I was kind of torn between Snow White and Electric State because I don't know, they try and tend to send a message with the worst picture, and the point about the kind of how much money was spent on Electric State, I think they might give it to that. But then Snow White is, I'll go. I want War of the Worlds, but I think Electric State.
Fair enough. Right, that is our. Oh, snub, sorry. Yeah, of course. I forgot you watched.
So if it's eligible, which I don't know if it is, Flight Risk should have been eligible for this. It came out started last year. So I don't know if the end of January or something like that last year, I think, when I was looking up. But we seen a film together, Massey, that I think should have been nominated for this. I'll give you a second to think.
Oh, yeah.
Conjuring Last Rites should have 100% been nominated for this. What a fucking disgrace of a movie.
Absolute dog shit.
Especially front row in IMAX.
I was like this the whole time. We're spinning shit and stuff, and yeah. Fair enough. Todd, any snubs?
I have 3.
I think. Wait, can I guess? Can I guess one as well?
Yeah, go for it.
Is it the Peter Pan thing? Or was that?
No, to be honest, that didn't even. I mean, yes, that they are atrocious. I don't even think they get after Winnie the Pooh. I don't think they've bothered with them anymore.
Fair.
Yes, but The Strangers Chapter 2 was awful, just dog shit. The Home with Pete. What's he called? Pete
Postlethwaite?
That's what I thought, but I was like,
Pete Davidson.
Okay.
It was just awful. But my one that would replace them all and I would like to see win it is Keeper. Osgood Perkins's most recent thing. It was just awful.
I actually think I hate that guy.
Do you know what? You know me. I enjoy Long Legs, and again, I'm
exactly.
I'm willing to be wrong, but The Monkey was a letdown. Keeper was fucking dreadful. So yeah, there's mine. Me snubs.
Fair enough. Excellent. All right. Well, that is part 1 done. Bit longer than kind of expected, but it's all good.
You're in charge of the time, Massey, for fuck's sake.
But no, that was good fun. That was good fun. So yeah, part 2 will be coming out. We said Wednesday, wasn't it? This is out on Monday. Then Wednesday, part 2 will be coming out. We'll talk about supporting actress, supporting actor, and best director. So guys, thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.
Cheers.